Getting used to this YouTube live stream splashing on in. I am your happiness navigator, pollinator of positivity, woman wizard, shapeshifter. That's me, Melissa Mojo B, reminding us that we're all wizards. We are all things, in fact. So we're here together today to just, have some time well spent to magnify our intentions for the greatest good of all. And I love to call you the fellow wizards. So we're going to pick some cards here from a lovely collection. Also have a guitar here for some little picking and grinning. And I am also a certified trained Reiki master of nearly a decade. And we've kind of made that into what we call create energy, which is cosmic rainbow energy to activate, transmute, and evolve. So all the broadcasts here at Mojo Magic, of course, have that sparkled in. And we kind of have fun just picking a song out of a roster from Ultimate Guitar, where we've put together there's not really you and I, we're all together. But this little individual, Melissa Mojo B, has gone through a vast collection of songs and put together about 500 that we can just sort of scroll through and pick one that feels good at the time. Of course, some are more comfortable than others. And if you have a particular request, we would love to see it. And I'd love to see you in the chat. I love to engage with you and chat back and talk more about what's going on with the cards, what's going on with you, what's going on with the world. Dharma, the Reiki Master Cat, is here to say hello. Say hi, Dharma. There's Dharma. She's poking around already, wanting to get herself right in the mix. There's only one little stool here, and we're going to share it, right, Dharma? So maybe we'll start with a little Tibetan bowl to ring in some wonderful frequencies and vibrations for you, fellow wizards. Here from the tree hive in the sky overlooking beautiful Lake Ontario. Perhaps we'll even take a little buzz out on the patio and see what it's like out there after a minute. It's a beautiful, sunny, partly cloudy day here in Toronto. And we are, of course, like I say, on Lake Ontario, so overlooking one of the Great Lakes and sending that sparkle, that intentional magic for protection, peace, and prosperity for thee and thy loved ones as we go about our magical broadcast here. And just a reminder to drink some water. Mine has some lemon in it, so we'll send you that lovely vibration. Hello. Hello, spring. Wonderful to be here with you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with this collective. It feels wonderful to buzz live. I haven't done it for quite a long time. I've done it mostly on Facebook, actually, and we've been quite successful over there. But something happened where we just lost that 8 years of live streams, and the Mojo and Magic page over on Facebook all went down in November. And yours truly has had a really tough time coming back from that. So I just want to thank all the people who are in my corner, who have been cheerleading me through the darkest of winters, the dark winter of the soul, as I've been calling it here, to come back and restart. And thankfully, we have this YouTube page established already. So why wouldn't we buzz in here instead of over on the Zuck universe, right? So we're gonna try this and then share this around. And so I really appreciate you being here. Hello in Montreal. Wonderful to have you here, David. Thank you so much. So I say, well, we'll start with a little Tibetan bowl here that I got from a lovely spot just up the street, in fact. And so, as I was saying earlier, if you weren't here, I am a trained Reiki master. And I actually came into Reiki sort of accidentally, but I've been working on energy, frequency, and vibration since I had panic attacks when I was about 18 years old. And that was early on into our understanding of mental health, really, right? Panic attacks was unheard of at that time. And I remember even my friends and family sort of asking me, what is wrong with you and why can't you just get over it? And, those curses turn into blessings as we take those lessons and we learn them. And one of the lessons I learned was that I just needed to go through that so I could feel how it is to be in suffering and to have to go through that extreme darkness that I was just talking about. Sometimes when things get lost, especially after we've climbed the mountain, right? And we've seen the view and we know who we are, that we are I am, that we are spirit, the spirit that's running through me right now, which is called Reiki, which is called Chi. And it really is, Reiki means universal life force energy, and we're all made of that, right? I'm so happy to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining. And so as we're made of this energy, and when we do something to shine out our light, no matter the polarity, when we're in our authentic feeling, it's perfect. So instead of thinking, oh, I have to fix this, or I'm lesser than, no matter where we are, we get to learn that it's always the perfect place. And sometimes we get to the top of the mountain and we look out and we think we see, and then we end up back at the bottom again. We have to climb up. So step by step. All right, I'm just going to do a little humming here. You're welcome to do a little humming with me. Humming is scientifically now, all these studies happening, as I say, with mental health and wellness, to know that humming actually is so beneficial for us. Let's just hum together for a little minute. Then we're going to pull some cards and play a couple songs. Some special vibrations just for you. Can you feel it? Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. So naturally, these sessions have a little bit of ASMR. They have a little bit of energy healing. Healing is not my favorite word because there's another version of healing, and it's when we tell a dog to stay by us. And sometimes when we think we have to keep healing, well, that's exactly like that. It stays by our side. So what we can know is that, in fact, we are always perfect. So we don't need to be beside and have this feeling like we always need to get better, always need to get better. Today is perfect. There's always room for improvement, but that's not right now. So the gift of the now is to know that it is actually perfect already right now, just as it is. And the more we can practice that, because I know it's not easy, right? I've been in resistance, as I say, for this whole winter, being like, why did that stuff get taken away? What about all these videos I can't get back in? What about all the community that we built? And there's just another step to take. And sometimes we need to go through that rest phase, right? Like the caterpillar turn into goo before we come back and shine again. So I'm grateful to shine here with you. If you feel like sharing, if you want to come back again, make sure you subscribe so you don't lose me in the ethers. The other thing I love to teach about is this cosmic rainbow energy, as I call it. So that kind of got channeled to me over years of doing Reiki sessions, specifically distance Reiki sessions, where you do it on a proxy and you send it across the world. So I've done it for people in Saudi Arabia. I've done it across the UK, Australia. Really, internationally, we can do these energy sessions. And so they started off as a general Reiki session would with a distance client. So you would write their name, you write some symbols, you write where they are in the world. You might write a specific intention, and you might actually download your own sort of symbol to add to it. So that's something that I started doing. And then as I was doing these sessions, I noticed that when we focus on the colors that go with the chakras, right? We have them here. So they all have a note. So your crown chakra is bee, like me. And Melissa, by the way, means bee. So that's why I'm your little pollinator of positivity. I was born to be sweet and be a little silly and buzzy and just not mind needing to go around and bring that sweetness to all the flowers, some that might not even think they want to get pollinated, but we just have to send that little sparkle their way too. So here, for the greatest good, of course, what's accepted and what's for all. So B, that's our crown chakra, and it's also purple. So each of the chakras has a note. That means any of the octaves of the B note or any frequency that is in B will stimulate our crown chakra. And then we have the indigo, and that's for our third eye. And that's the A. The A note, 7 notes, 7 chakras, and 7 colors. So this one being indigo. Anyway, so and onward. We'll do that in another day because sometimes I get into a mode where I can spend hours just talking energy and color and such. So as we started to do these sessions and I was spending more time in the colors and I was really focusing in on the colors as I was treating certain areas on the person who is doing distance. And because the person's not right in front of you and you have a proxy and you're in your own space, you can really sort of be uh, uh, in a meditative state. So I got in these meditative trance-like states and I was bringing in the color. So say for the crown chakra, and then I would see a glimmer of a picture come through, a symbol or an image. So I started asking, could I have an image or a symbol? Um, and so it would actually present me with more the more I asked. And then it turned from just like dream symbols, kind of, which I could either go look up after or I could start to intuit. So it increased my intuition and I would start to be really open to intuition. And then as I was doing these half-hour sessions, they turned into sentences and then paragraphs. And then so that within a half an hour, I would often get up to 2,000 words of a special magical manifesto just for you. So you can actually message me. I guess you can't message me, but you can go to mojoandmagic.com or find me on Facebook at Melissa Mojo B. That's me, or Mojo and Magic on Facebook, and message us over there. And you can have one of those special, unique sessions for yourself that focuses on this rainbow. And one day I was asking, what about this cosmic rainbow energy that we're all made of, and this rainbow that's so important to the process? And what could we call it instead of Reiki, or how could we talk about that as its own thing? And what I was told was the word create as an acronym. So I said, well, if it's cosmic rainbow energy, what's the rest? What's the other 3 words? And instantly the download came and it said activate, transmute, and evolve. So it's sort of like saying cosmic rainbow energy, activate, transmute, evolve. It's like a superhero, going into the putting their cape on, or just saying that activating statement. So that cosmic rainbow energy, activate, transmute, evolve, and that's exactly how it goes. We get activated, like I was saying, by these lessons, by these things, by hardships, also by wonderful times that are stressors that work our system in ways that can be difficult on the physical body, on the emotional body, and even on the spiritual body. And as we do that, that activates us and that gives us the opportunity to turn it into a blessing by using it as a lesson. And so we transmute it. And then from there, we evolve instead of just moaning about it, right? So thanks for helping me evolve in this very moment and coming back and doing live streams after I really was kind of going to give up on this little magical online mission. And instead I said, let's just make it fun and do it when we want and how we want, and post like no one's watching. So thanks though for being here, because when 2 come together and those flames get awfully much brighter. So let's pull a card. Let's pull an animal spirit card, or a spirit animal card, as they might be called, as a matter of fact. And I swear I already shared this, but let me just share it at a couple places if I can. Okay, all right. Hopefully I didn't go away there. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you. Hi, Joe, and hi to your friend too. All right, so here we have the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. That's what it looks like. And we do love to ask that Spirit Animal Kingdom what little message we could have for this moment in time and let those animals guide us to. So actually, I'll let you take a knock, knock, knock after I take a knock, knock, knock. And then we'll put our energies into it together. We'll pick one of these beauties. So how's everyone doing this fine day? I love to call them divine days. People saying, every damn day I go to the gym. Or we could say, every divine day. Every divine day that we get to play. Woo! What's going on? I want to flip, but it was wanting to take a few with it. So just wait a little bit longer. Patience is a virtue. So by just doing these little shows and just doing what comes naturally, I have experienced many ways of doing broadcasts, and sometimes they're soft and sometimes they're boisterous. Sometimes little parts are boisterous. Sometimes, we stay in a soft mode and just do some Reiki or create energy magic together. So we actually got 3. They popped out all at once, so we're just going to go with that. Chameleon spirit, act as if. This is sort of what we were talking about when we're saying just go with what is, right? Act as if we are so financially abundant, so emotionally abundant, so physically healthy, right? So socially, community connected, all of these things that we want to act as if, anything that we want to bring in. We manifest best by acting like that's the way it is, right? So as I was saying, I went through this dark winter of the soul here where I'd lost my business page, Blissness as I like to call it, on Facebook, and that's where we went live mostly and where I was connected most in the community. So I felt like, oh no, and I just went through so many things that made me feel socially bankrupt, financially bankrupt. It hit my business right before Christmas, the Blissness. I don't even make a lot of money off of it, but it was there, and it was on the Google search at the top, and it showed about the create sessions, and everything was there, and then it was just one day gone. And I was feeling as if it wasn't, right? So now I come back into the feeling of as if, and we chameleon ourselves. We just do it. We just put the colors on ourselves, and we ask our spirit team, which is our ancestors, which is all of the guardians, any character of the magical realms, of course, angelics, and get right down into unicorns and the fae and all those beautiful things, but also, of course, great spirit, which is what we all are a part of. So as we call in all these things and all these colors to assist us in acting as if we already have it. I don't know if you've heard of Abelhart, but he puts out amazing positive music that he's wrote and created himself and does a lot of dancing. And I saw a beautiful video of him being quite overwhelmed, saying, I just faked it to make it. Like, I just kept going in that feeling of joy frequency, even when it was hard and even when I didn't know how I was going to get there. And what we're doing, we just keep acting as if and going for it. Eventually, we're going to get there in some form or another. It may not look exactly the way we wanted it to. It might not be Facebook. It might be YouTube. Who knows? And that's the thing. We have to trust in the divine to send us in the right direction, even when it feels like it just threw us off cliffs, And so acting as if we're always safe becomes the truth. It becomes the knowledge, not just the acting. It becomes the faith, not just the hope, right? A hope in hell. But faith, the size of a mustard seed, moves mountains, and doubt, the same size, can stop it. So, not to say those times that we're in doubt are necessary as well. To be in the dark, this polarity, this spectrum, is key, because as we go into that darkness, like I said, if you come up on the mountain, then you gotta go back down to the bottom and think about climbing another. You might just not. But if you do, You know, you realize you're never alone. You realize that you always have support. You realize that there's always someone with you. The otters, they pair for life. I do believe you always see them holding hand in hand, right? Back floating. One of my favorite things to do is river Reiki. So if you're ever swimming anywhere, especially inside of the earth container, just think about calling in that create energy, cosmic rainbow energy, activate, transmute, evolve, and feel the feeling of that river wrapping around you, or the lake that you're in, or the sea. Feel the water, being immersed in the water, and then the earth underneath that, and then all the way down to the core of the earth where there's fire, and also the sunlight that's probably shining on you at that moment while you're floating like these beautiful otters, and call in that spirit. You can do it right in the bath too, or in the shower, right? And be thankful. And the air. So we have those elements, and as we feel how nurtured we are by those elements, we know that we're never alone in that as well. Those four elements are always there, and then there's the fifth element, right? There's the spirit. So we're never alone. We are protected. As a lot of people say, universe has your back. The universe is truly all around us. The cosmos is not just above, it is also below. And ant spirit. Oh, I love this. Time to cooperate. And I think it says coordinate. Yeah, but I see cooperate. Collaborate. Well, there we go. Cooperate, coordinate, and collaborate. Yeah, and I see the puzzle pieces there. This is the key, we can think that there comes a point where we first of all, it's like I don't even know what I'm doing out here. There was a time when I had no intention, and it was about 2010 or 2011 when I said someone was talking about it being the year of intention, and I thought, what is my intention other than just getting through the week and, I mean, being a good sister and a good daughter and a good friend and stuff, but what is my intention? And then I started to want to be in gratitude. That was right about the time that I quit smoking cigarettes and eventually quit drinking, and all the pills that I was taking for fibromyalgia and PTSD and chronic pain and anxiety. And the lead to that was sort of understanding that it was as it was. So I was going to need to accept that as good in the moment, and that I needed to be grateful in that moment. And gratitude being one of the strongest things we can have in the hardest of times, that will lift us up. And they say you can't really feel much else. You can't feel other emotions when you're feeling gratitude. So if we're in our gratitude, it kind of precedes and pushes all those other bad feelings out. So even though I was in chronic pain, even though I was suffering, and even though I was trying to quit smoking, and I did, I needed to act as if it was already happening. And I needed to act as if the suffering was okay. It wasn't unbearable. And in fact, it was just part of the process, and start to act as if um, I have this, and act grateful. And then I started to really want to be in service and bring that gratitude to other people. So that was me realizing I wasn't alone in that there's other people out here suffering, and that I want them to also be able to find gratitude and happiness, even in very, very, very hard circumstances in the world right now. It feels like it's a harder level than ever, right? Because we're high level. So remember that we're high level. We're not alone. We had to find some intention within ourselves in order to find our collectives. And so also, I believe that we're manifesting generators, crystals, and that some of us are able to hold this high frequency of gratitude and things more, and just playfulness, and these dimples I was born with made it easy, right? So those of us who are like that tend to be sort of kept apart for a long time because we needed to power the grid. So if you had a crystal grid, there would be sort of these generator crystals that keep that power going. And it's come to the time when we've all done such a great job. Cheers to you. That we get to actually come together. Where did I put that? Dharma, did you take it? That one just gone. This is what happens. Anyways, so once we realize we've acted as if we everything's actually perfect, or that we understand the lessons are blessings. We start transmuting, we start up leveling, and then we understand that we're not alone, and we really get in touch with spirit. And that part's also necessary, that sort of hermit part, that sort of really introspective part, where we find that we're not alone with the elements. As I was saying, we get in touch with nature and we come back to our true nature, which is that we know we're actually all. That's why I say shapeshifter, because we are the chameleon, right? We are the otters and we are the ants. And that time to collaborate is absolutely now. And it's key, because you cannot have a community of one. And it is time for that community to come for us all. And so, to fear not this collaboration, this cooperation, this coordination. The Emperor card came out yesterday, and that talks about, organization. So in order to collaborate and have these cohesive communities, we also need to be kind of organized and coordinate our efforts. So that's the message from the animal kingdoms at the moment. I think we should play a tune or two, and then we're already at a half hour, so that's fun. Let's just pick one. Anybody have a request? Who all's out there? Nobody's commented in a while. I don't think, anyway. Don't think so. No. But I love having you here. And I do love engaging. That's the one thing I did really appreciate about Facebook, even though it has a lot of flaws. It was very interactive. And I found that TikTok is impossible because it's just people coming in and out, in and out, in and out. And I do like the way that YouTube's set up, that we can keep these little things in playlists. And I do also happiness navigation on location, where I go to events. So if you have an event, especially in the GTA here in Southern Ontario, anywhere too, like festivals we love, a happy little documentarian, your woman wizard, can walk around and do a great job of documenting these things and putting them out, not only for myself, but for you and your communities. And so I've been doing that for years and years as well. And so we're going to focus that here on YouTube, and we're going to put a playlist up of those kind of things. We're going to do some cosmic rainbow energy blasts, where I just do that. We're going to do some lessons about the rainbow energy and Reiki, gua sha, moxibustion, and other things, apothecary stuff. We can make salves together, even know how to make creams, and really get into the alchemy, and music, of course. So we're gonna make little playlists, and it'll be easy to find all of the different variety of fun things that we can do together here. So I'm actually really excited and grateful, and I love you. And I was just out with my friend earlier, Jen, and took her to get a haircut in the enchanted pickup truck named Bessie. And it was such a sparkling day out there, and we sent some vibes off the CN Tower, and there was flowers perfectly placed. I'll put them up in the community page later here on YouTube. And I was so excited about the color of the flowers and the color of the sky and just everything. And I'm just like that. It's very sincere. And I'm grateful that I was made this way. It's not always easy, because I also feel the other stuff very strongly. So um, it's worth it. I say it's worth it to feel the full spectrum of emotions. So we're going to, let's see what's happening here. Play Riptide. It's going to be the first one, because I didn't see any technology is being funny as usual. That's okay. I didn't see any requests on here, but if you see any, let me know. And or if you're interested, there we go. In a song, I'm pretty much a mimic. If I've heard it on mainstream radio once or twice, I can do it. And also, we go live on location, and we get other people to sing with us. So one time you could come out and sing, and it will be very fun. We'll play together. All right. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Oh, oh, like a monster lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the highest shelf. Oh, ooh, ooh, and they come unstuck, lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left hand man. I love you when you're singing that song. I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. You know, I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Ooh. Oh, it's so fun to play some music with you. And of course, sing along whenever you find this. It's always divine timing, and it's always the perfect time whenever you find that. That was Vance Joy's Riptide. We did a little cover over there. Let's see what comes up. I'm going to have a little more water. Little reminder to hydrate. A little hydration at your station, wherever that is. I'm at the tree hive in the sky, buzzing with you. Melissa Mojo B, that's me. Your woman wizard. Pollinator of positivity and happiness navigator. All right. Well, interestingly, it's showing me Lover of Mine, Alana Miles. So I'm just going to sing it because it's there. And that's what we're going to do. So, I mean, sometimes songs are talking points. And I think when you think of Lover of Mine by Alana Miles, deadly song, just amazing song. So underrated is Alana Miles, honestly. Black Velvet probably being her big hit. And this one, I would have a hard time singing because it has that message of, you know, someone sticking around in the wings waiting for someone who's choosing to cheat or choosing to be with other people, right? And still loving so much. And don't I get that? Because as I said, when you feel joy as hard as I do, you feel love that way, and grief and all those things, the polarities, right? Because as far as we feel joy and happiness, we're also going to feel sadness and grief. And so what I've realized is that it's all this full spectrum of love, and we are all full spectrum beings. And we get to the happiness navigation part is not just thinking it's all happy, 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 joy, joy. It's happy even when we're sad, because again, we're going through that phase of goo to come out as the butterfly. So even though it feels yucky, maybe, and heavy and all those things, and this is a heavy dimension we're in here in the earth experience, that there is that bounce back, and that we're on the way to the other side of that polarity, and that it's all love in the interim. So again, it's all perfect. And so this song reminds us that we are whole and that we don't need to chase anything. And that might be a message out there for people in those kind of twin flame things, or those soulmate karmic kind of things, where it's maybe just a message to say, like, you're not losing that person, you're losing the vision of what you thought they might be in your life. And that all that energy can go into you now. You can give all that love to ourselves. We can give all that love to ourselves. We, not you and me. That we get to pour all that love all in ourselves and fill our own hearts up first, and not feel like we're losing anything when these situations change, like my Facebook page getting taken down in November and feeling so lost, but then being here on YouTube and finding a different way and seeing that maybe that is exactly, and not just maybe, having faith that I know that's exactly what it was meant to be. But there was times during that where it just didn't feel like that, and I just felt bankrupt. I just felt just nothing there. And that's okay, because after, what happens after bankruptcy? We start again, right? What happens after, when they burn brush so that it can grow back again, fresh and new and strong? And we do. We're like a ball, we bounce back higher. So that's a message for somebody out there. Why do I feel like I'm losing you? Will it ever become what I've always wanted it to? You tell me I'm the lucky one. How can you say that when it breaks my heart to see another woman with you? Oh, lover of mine. Oh, lover of mine. When it hurts so bad, I wanna hold you in my arms. Make me feel like I wanna be a lover of mine. I wanna be a lover of mine. Even the words are saying it. After we've said all it is to say, am I in your heart, or am I just in your way? My desire for you is running wild. Jealousy, dangerous time. When I see you looking at another woman that way. Oh, lover of mine. Oh, lover of mine. When it hurts so bad, I wanna hold you in my arms. Make me feel like you wanna be a lover of mine. Please set me free, or give me your reason for trying to keep it alive. There is no need for us to be lonely. Give me some kind of hope. I'm walking a fine line. Oh, lover of mine. Oh, lover of mine. when it hurts so bad. I wanna hold you in my arms. Make me feel like you wanna be the lover of mine. Make me feel like you wanna be a lover of mine. Make me feel like you wanna be a lover of mine. Make me feel like you wanna be a lover of mine. Make me feel like you wanna be a lover of mine. Or be your own lover all the time. Have you seen the new trend? A shimmy a day keeps the sad away. Should we do it together? Shimmy, 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 shimmy. To do it while I'm playing, but maybe play one more song. But I feel like we'll pull a little card in between, and then it's 41 minutes in. So after the next musical break, we'll probably say fond adieu for the moment and meet you in the ethers, because that's exactly, we're always together. Of course we are. We're all one. Bob Marley knew a lot. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's pull some fairy tarot. Anybody out there with a request? Anybody out there just want to talk about anything? Get anything off your chest? See? Request off your chest. This is a safe space, radical non-judgment. That's one lovely thing about Reiki too. I really learned, it's about not being in judgment, not worrying, and not fussing. And when I find myself doing those things, well, I just know I'm going through some stuff. And so that's the way it is. We go through these little phases of absolute faith and then a little drought of doubt. Knock, 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 if you please. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, I heard you there. Thank you. We'll find our fairy. This is the fairy tarot, a full tarot deck, all fairies. Radley Valentine and illustrated by Howard David Johnston. My real name, last name is Johnston. My brother's name is David Johnston. So, like art, interesting. We were talking that it came up about illustrating art, and then my brother, and I was thinking my brother wouldn't not much of an illustrator, we'll say, but my brother loves video games, and he is a very creative guy. We used to play a lot of music together, me and Dave, and that we all have this inner artist in us, but that it's the world that tells us, oh no, we're not an artist. And I've been facing that lately too, because I actually started doing some art and realizing that I'm telling myself I'm not an artist, and yet at the same time I'm making some art. So how's that possible? And where does this little voice come from that's so mean inside of me, that tells me the meanest things? And then I just have to tell you, you know what? I see why you're there, little anxiety. I appreciate you. We're just not doing it that way anymore. How about us saying to Mom, oh, you think I'm a little too chubby, do you? That's okay. I understand. You don't want me to be unhealthy. But you know what? Ice cream's okay now and again. And you can sit in the back of the car and just have a little ice cream there. Like these thoughts come up, and we can actually, instead of being angry or like telling it, go away, stop it, which is how it started for me. I used to tell anxiety to F off at the beginning, and sometimes we need to start with that. But after a while, I realized I was telling a part of me, again, that this full spectrum, it's all love. So I'm telling that part of me, which is love, no, that's not right. So I changed it, and I said, okay, hello, little anxiety. Instead of thinking of it as this goth, big, mean thing, I was like, it's just a little monster trying to protect me, like a little stuffed animal monster, like this guy right here, for example. Like, ooh, anxiety. And this would be maybe one of the proxies I might do some cosmic rainbow energy on, because when I went to do my Reiki training, and the Reiki master woman, who was very Jewish and lived in this really nice penthouse apartment downtown Toronto and seemed very straight and had been like an accountant. Well, her husband's is still an accountant, and she actually worked in the law offices when she was young. and had done hypnosis, but she pulls out these bags of stuffed animals and is like, choose your stuffed animal to do your distance Reiki on. I was a little woo woo. But the things that I have seen when we do these Reiki distance Reiki connections, and like I mentioned, doing one in Saudi Arabia, and that woman and I had the exact same vision, and we both wrote it at the same time of what we had seen in the session. And the sessions just they continually boggle my mind. As long as you don't let the ego get in the way, you will get these amazing messages as you could really learn how to use cosmic rainbow energy, the use of the imagining vision, using the vision, the inner vision, imagination, creating that world inside where we focus on the colors, and all of these words come through. As long as we don't say, oh, that's BS, I'm just making it up, it comes through. Because we all have imposter syndrome. I don't think I'm a channeler, or and I've had to do these sessions where I did actually connect with people who've passed on, especially if I do a session and someone has had someone close to them recently pass on. It's likely that there's going to be a specific message from them. And even most recently, I had one where I know not to second guess things, because a few times the ego comes in and says, well, maybe you shouldn't say that about that person. It doesn't seem to match their personality or what you know of them. And so I'll just get out of my own way and go, that's ego. We just put down what comes through. And so this last case was someone whose mom had passed, and she the mama bear came through, and it was saying mama bear. And I thought, I don't know about this mama bear phrase. Maybe I should just like drop it out of it. And I was told, oh, of course, no, right? That's ego. So I did. And sure enough, after that, that person sent me a picture of a mug that their mom had given that said mama bear to them. So absolutely kismet, some of these things, you know? And so, hi, that's really great to see you here, Colleen. I was wondering if you might buzz in. Thanks for coming. It makes me feel happy. So we poured our love into these three cards, and we pulled them together. Yes, we did. And we got the King of Spring: innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. A financial windfall. Hello, people. Your leadership skills are needed now. That has to do with that collaboration thing. So don't be shy right now to jump into a leadership role and take on what you think. That imposter syndrome is an important message right there. So that, because it actually was, it was act as if, right? So that's like, I'm not this. So how can I act that without it being insincere? Because we truly are that. We truly are that which we can, imagination, we can create in our own world. So yeah, act as if until we get there, right? So our leadership skills are needed not only within us, but for us to be able to go out and be a leader and not feel an imposter about that, to not feel guilty about. Happiness navigation is also about the fact that sometimes we can see what other people can't see. And when I first started driving, I didn't drive. I was a passenger princess for many, 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 many years, because they put through graduated licensing here in Canada right before my 16th birthday, and I just boycotted that hard. I hitchhiked across Canada versus getting my license at that point in time, and I held on for a long time. So I was passenger princess, and I felt like I shouldn't tell people where to drive their car. And so I wouldn't help them navigate, because I thought, well, they know when I shouldn't butt in. And then sometimes I would say, oh, I thought maybe we should go this way, because I do have intuition. And also I'm good with direction. So after a while, people started saying, why didn't you tell me? Could have saved us a half an hour or an hour. And I thought, okay, maybe I will pipe up. And then I took it on, and people started saying, wow, you're such a great navigator. And I took pride in that, and I did not feel like an imposter, and I just totally was the navigator. And so in life, when I started seeing that with the Reiki and with this intuition stuff, that there was things that I could say to people that they couldn't see themselves, I felt like it wasn't my place, and I had to get brave enough to be a leader. What is really a facilitator, which is someone who just sees differently, who can see a different perspective, who can look at the map, because we're not driving that car. And you can look at a map and help me figure out where I'm going. And that's what co-creating is all about. And when we do these sessions, it's always we. it goes back and forth. You help me, I help thee. And really we're all helped by being we. So an unexpected supporter of your cause here with the king of spring, the king of spring, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he couldn't have arrived at a more prosperous, perfect time, right? And I see the tents in the background again, festival season. We were talking about if anyone wants to get us out to their festivals, to do some wizarding, to do some tarot, to do some entertaining, to do a little stage with some, or campfire karaoke is another thing we love to do. We can do all of that and also document and happiness navigation on location. So what else we got? We got 4 of Autumn. Manage resources wisely, achieve a balance in how we spend and save money, and help those who are less fortunate. And this reminds me of went out to see some amazing musicians yesterday at the local on Roncesvalles. Pete Devlin was my connect there, and Michael McGrady hosted, and it was just phenomenal. And I don't have a lot of do-re-mi at the moment, but I put a little bit extra in there, and it's not because they're less fortunate, because these people are super duper talented, but I know that Pete made the trip down here, and we didn't have to pay to cover to get in. And myself and my some of my soul family and my family, my mom and dad and my two Jens, my two best Jenny and Jen, came and we just soaked that music up. And there was accordion and fiddle and penny whistles and the most amazing guitars and songs and sing-alongs. And so the buzz was amazing. And so it was so worth it to take a little bit of that balance of how I spend money and prioritize it so that I could give it to those who not necessarily are less fortunate, but who deserve it. And sometimes who are less fortunate. Also, we know that it's tough times out here. So it's really, that's something I started on Facebook, was Hungry Buns Zone, and it's here in Toronto, and it's just an idea that we had when I made a huge pot of chili one time, and I didn't want to take it around to all my friends and family, so I was asking people, will you come over to my house and get some of this chili? Help me out. And then we started a whole page, and now there's 3,000 plus people that trade what they might have made that they have too much of, or if they went and got a wrong order, some takeout place gave them a wrong order, they'll put it up there. Or if they're cleaning out their cupboards or their fridge and they got leftovers that they don't want, but somebody else would, we just trade there. And it's such a beautiful thing that just starts from one little idea of sharing and helping each other. So, and then Ace of Autumn comes in after the 4. So, look at this one's very sparkly and prosperous. See all the books and things on the ground? This reminds me also of like immersing in art and a learning, or like opening up to new information that's coming in. It says a windfall of money, advice, or assistance from others. That's the collaborate. That was the last card in the other one too. Interesting. So this one, okay, they quite well echo each other. I don't know where the otter one went, but we have the other two. So the first one was chameleon, right? Act as if, and that goes along here with the king. That leadership. So act as if. Yes, we are deserving of that leadership role. And then it comes because the confidence is required. There's nothing more attractive to making a community than some confidence. So if we're feeling in that imposter thing and everything, it's just not going to go well. So, and the other one was the otters floating together hand in hand, and that's that idea of working in unison, right? Like this 4 of Autumn. So helping out others. Yeah, this is Autumn is coins. So that's 4 coins. Is also talking about the prosperity of knowing that you're never alone. So that other card, the otters, was you're never alone. And not only are we not alone in person because we're finding our community now, but we are not alone because we know we're surrounded by 5 elements, 4 physical elements and 1 spirit element at all times, and that we are all one. So we are actually connected to all people, and that we also get to look at that balance of how we how we give, balance the energies, balance that reciprocity too. Don't give too much though. You know what I mean? Don't give and sometimes it's okay to give much to someone who hasn't given a lot, but just know that that's the case and it's like kind of a one-time deal, and it needs to feel right. It needs to feel like it's a gift to us to give that in that situation and never feel like it's depleting, you know? So give when it feels good. There was a saying that I came up with that said, "Give until it hurts and give some more." And that was a bit damaging, to be honest, because I'm a bit of a neurotic overgiver, people pleaser anyway. And then to think, give until it hurts and then give some more and give, and those can be really super depleting relationships and words. And this is an old paradigm. And now I say, give until it feels great and then give some more. Because doesn't it feel great when we can people please with other people pleasers? In other words, we're just pouring into each other's cups and there's overflow everywhere and we're just completely abundant, all of us, because that's exactly how it's meant to be. But we don't want to one of us who's that way be pouring into one another or five others and just being all poured out all the time. So the last card here was that Ace of Autumn, a windfall of money, advice, or assistance from others. And the other one was the Ant Spirit telling us to collaborate, right? And that's the piece of the puzzle that's so key. Like, we're just not going to do it on our own, folks. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to be like a community, to be to move things forward, to create change for ourselves and others. We need to come together. It's just not possible to do it all on our own. But we did need to act as if we could there for a while, right? So we did excellent on that. And then we've understood that we are never alone. We've gone through that, I'm all alone and I need to figure it out. And then coming to the gratitude and the connectivity of that hermit time. And then moving through that, the journey, the fool's journey, starting out, all the whole tarot is the journey of us. Every card is in its own way. But this hermit session that most of us have had to go through after tower moments, and then again, we get up there and then we might fall out of that tower. And that's just so that we can go find another tower, because baby, we're not supposed to stay in one place all the time. We got to spread this joy around. Oh yeah, it's great that you're here. Hello. Hi, Logan too. Awesome. I'm just I've been on for about an hour. So I'm probably going to Moon in Taurus. So this is a new moon we're just going through. And that means new beginnings. It's a great time to actually plant those intentions. So if you were a gardener, you would plant on the new moon and harvest on a full moon when it's illuminated. And obviously it kind of also makes sense because on a full moon, there's more light, so you can be out later to gather the stuff, right? Harvest. So on this new moon, when it's dark and planting, we would get up early and we would do that planting day. We would set our intentions and we would know that by the full moon, things are starting to sprout. And so new moon is the time to get really clear about what we want our intentions to look like. You can actually, on mojoandmagic.com, in the there's a skeptic turned mystic blog section under the See More, and in there it tells you how to do a full moon bath and the whole ritual. It's so simple, but really just to like light a candle. You can make the bath yourself with some salts and some essential oils or flowers even, and then you can light a candle while the bath is running, and while that's happening, you write a manifesto, which is basically how you see things going on a certain issue or in your life. And so up till the full moon from now, which is 2 more weeks, and then from there forward, and just say it like you're already there. Act as if. Thank you, Logan. That's a great question. And it does come back to that first card, which was act as if, right? So act as if it's already happened here with the chameleon, and bring in that cosmic rainbow energy, create cosmic rainbow energy, activate, transmute, evolve. We can even say that to the bath. Activate, transmute, evolve. And but just think about where we want to be and see it in all of the sensory ways that we can, so we can really it gets more tangible that way. And while we're writing that, or you might even be able to speak it in a voice note. Why not? But writing is wonderful, and then you can later either keep it in a book, which I like to, and then just look at how things have worked themselves out. Or you can plant it somewhere if you feel like it, or you might burn it in your fire if you're having a new moon fire or a full moon fire. And so then that intention is going into the bath while that bath is being poured. And again, it even says in the little blog on mojomagic.com, it says, make sure you don't let it overflow, because sometimes our thoughts are overflowing and these manifestos could get really long. So you want to make sure you don't let the bath overflow. But while we're pouring that out of ourselves, it's going into the bath to fill us up. And then we get in the bath, we soak it all in. We'd be so grateful again for all those elements we talked earlier. You can go back and watch it later. That when we're in a river in particular, or the ocean or a lake, that we can feel the elements. And it's just one of the most powerful things I've experienced anyways, is to call in that cosmic rainbow energy, to activate, transmute, and evolve while I'm in the container, this nurturing container of the water that was given to us on this earth, to immerse ourselves in that way. And that's also being cradled by the earth. And even under there in the earth's crust is fire, and above us again is air, and then there's also fire up there coming down. So as above, so below, we're being completely surrounded with all those elements, and spirit is everything. So we have these 5 elements, never alone, fully immersed. And when we're in that bath, you can just replicate that same thing. Just be so thankful for all those elements, because gratitude is a huge part of intention magic. So the more grateful we can be, the more powered up this is going to happen, and the quicker it's going to happen. And so then as it's draining, as the bath drains, I like to sit right in there until it's gone, or you can stand up and just let it pull from the crown down through your feet. As it pulls that drained water away, it's draining anything that's not serving. It's draining anything that's not connected to that vision, that intention that you've now set. And just be, again, grateful. Thank you for taking that away, and thank you for filling me up with all of this fresh new energy for exactly what we need for the greatest good. And I always like to finish it with, this or better, so mote it be, because we might think we want it a certain way. And as I said, those tower moments might make us move along to something else. So who knows? Just enjoy the ride and trust, 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 trust. Faith, 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 faith. Or else it's just a hope in hell. And we get to choose whether we're here in heaven on earth, in the earth experience, or whether it's, hell every divine day or every damn day. And so that's pretty much what we got there. Okay, so it says a happy change in your career. This very last one, we're gonna go over this one more time because it's telling me to. Ace of Autumn, this like super prosperous time that's coming from, again, it sort of looks like this person, this little fairy has been hitting the books, really researching herself is the word I'm getting. This connection with source here we have with all that sparkle and the light, and meditating and bringing in the connectivity of nature there with her, and then, or them, and books, and also letting all of that magic, as we were talking about the magic spirit team, ancestors and all that, be with them in order to support this new windfall of money, advice, assistance from others. So again, all this incoming, a very successful project, and a happy change in your career. So I see for all of us, this is a 9-year, which means we're finishing things off. We're talking about anytime there's a new moon, that means we're finishing off something else too. Something else is ending. So with these endings, we're getting a whole shift into newness. So fear not, dear ones. Absolutely do not fear. This is a beautiful time. And it just, you know what, it's growing pains, or it's birthing, it's reemergence, it's coming back to ourselves. And so I'm just reading some comments, sorry. Aw, Yeah, the other it's gonna be a little bit interesting to get us all over here to YouTube Live, but that's where we're gonna do it now because they have a wonderful way to like keep this of a library for us. And I was saying we can divide up the playlist to sort of have the lives in one area, to have happiness navigation on location in one area. I'm gonna put up some videos later in the community and on the page of where we were yesterday at the local on Roncesvalles with Pete Devlin and Michael McGrady and a bunch of other amazing players, and it was just phenomenal. So we got some great footage there, and I'll pop that up, and then we'll make these little playlists so we can put out the playlist for meditations, playlist for create energy sessions, and playlists for these lives, etc., etc. And so, yes, definitely, if you haven't yet, subscribe, follow here so you can find us again. I'm gonna play one more and get out of here because it's already over an hour. This one's called Distance by the very underrated Emily King. If you haven't heard her yet, please go check her out. Just really did not get the support and money, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe she was trying too hard. Sometimes we try too hard, don't we? But the music is phenomenal. What a songwriter. So thanks to her for this one. And thanks to you for being here. Love you all so much. Hey, love, time to get up. I think you've been sleeping too long. My day started when you were still yawning. One room just ain't enough when it's two folks trying to get along. But it's hard to leave you alone. Ooh, love is always better when we take time to get back to who we are. When we are apart, distance makes the heart grow. Even when I'm lonely, happy knowing that your love is never far. When we are apart, distance makes the leaves on the trees fall, makes the hours in the day long, makes me wanna clear my mind, find a little cafe, write the words to a song. And I know that I'm still free, be anywhere that I wanna be. Maybe get dressed up, wear something real pretty you ain't never seen. Ooh, love is always better when we take time to get back to who we are. When we are apart, distance makes the heart grow. Even when I'm lonely, happy knowing that your love is never far. When we are apart, distance makes the Go ahead, hum. When you love, it makes the heart. When you trust, it makes the heart. When you call, it makes the heart. When we're alone, when we're apart, in the middle of a fight, walk away to make it right. Where we go, we're never far. In the light or in the dark, in the plane, up in the stars, in a movie or at the bar, home alone or out to tea. Look into your heart and think of me. I wanna love you, don't wanna try to change the pace of your life. We get to together, we make it good. We get together. Ooh. Hey, love, time to get up. I think you've been sleeping too long. My day started when you were still yawning. Thank you so, so, so very much for joining me this divine day. And I will see you again soon. And again, yes, if you haven't yet, like or subscribe and all of that jazz. And perhaps share to someone that you think might love a little joy frequency and a buzz with your happiness navigator, pollinator, positivity, and shapeshifting woman wizard. That's me, Melissa Mojo B, sending so much love to thee. Mwah. Talk soon. Okay. Now, how to end this thing.